So yeah, where was I? First thoughts that came into my mind. We did, my sister and I. She was actually very white, more than I am. Nobody believed she was my sister. We were always separate from each other. I was about to die. My first experience with that was when I was a child, a newborn. My mother was like, and still is, easygoing, and she let that my umbilical cord, when they cut it, it got infected, and I spent many months in there, right? So my first experience, my first thoughts are very heavy, very deep, and there is no going around to it. And I wish it could be, but it is not. We were always separate from each other. She always did go to, since we were children, since I was a newborn, they always separate me from them, even my mother. So my adopted grandmother, exclamation point, I don't know how to say in English, was the one that became to in charge on me, but she was very mean to me, and she taught my sister to do the same. And my mother was in her own business. So actually, since I was born, I started suffering a lot of shitty things. What other experience I can tell that I already have told in my first videos. For example, one example, uh, sometimes I did have to wait for others to eat so I can eat myself. I wasn't allowed to speak or ask for more. It sounds like a novel or something like that. Especially here in Mexico, in many families, the woman had to wait before the man finished eating. And in my case, it was the same. I wasn't able to ask for a Coke, uh, una Coca-Cola, and things like that. It started with the simple things. As I was growing up, it became more obvious that I didn't have a good relationship with my family, not even my mother, not even my sister. In the start, we were very close. Another thought that comes to mind is when we kinda we were kinda to protect each other from my grandmother. She was an alcoholic. She has lived in the U.S. before all these things happened, and they had money. They traveled a lot to Mexico City, the U.S. They knew a lot of people, and when all these things started and she was in charge of us, she became very angry with us, and we kind of start trying to protect each other. Um, I remember all the family members, all the women, my, how do you say English? Tias, uh, were sitting around, and my grandmother tended to put us in the middle and start hitting us with a piece of wood with a little nails on them. And it was a turn on my sister. Every time they go with her, she kinda tend to do that and start laughing. So they were what? I think I already told the story. And I was like 5 years old. I started to become angry, and I pushed my sister aside, and I put myself in the middle. So she did get angry about it, and I told her, "You are not gonna make me cry, but stop my sister." she brought a piece of wood in my back, and I was bleeding. I only wanted to drop. That's another experience that I did have. Or when sometimes I did ask her for more soup, and I asked her to, from where I am, there is a little chili pepper, very, very hot. And I asked her what was it. She was like 5 too. That is another experience. And she became angry about it. She grabbed a bunch of it and squished them and put them into my mouth because I just asked her for them. I didn't ask her to give me some. I just asked her what were they. That is another experience. That's why I don't like to talk about much about myself, because there is no easy going around it. And what else? Something that I can tell, that I can resume. You tell that, right? Well, experience. Oh yeah, other experience that I did have since I was a child. When she tried to burn our hands, and I tried to stop her. She started with my sister, and because I tried to uh, stop her, she tried to burn my hands until my uncle came and they start arguing each other. In the old ways, someone will say, another experience. I did have the whole bunch, all the package. It was bad that you write with a left because they think that that was the devil's hand. And actually, I write better with the left, but I don't do that because they grab my hand and put how do you say it? Something in it, so I wasn't able to use it. I was forced to write with the right. That is another experience, very heavy. I don't want to get too much into it since I was growing up. There were a couple of whole more. Uh, they put myself in a government school, and she went to private. They didn't give me any money for my homework. I didn't need to get to school walking. They did take her in car. So they were many experiences, but I never was angry at her. Maybe sometimes I was angry at them to make so much difference between us. But actually, I love my sister. Besides all, other things are more heavy than the ones that I am talking about. So I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can. So yeah, uh, many irregularities in my family. Uh, that is the story that they told me. When I start these videos, I already have told this many times before, was to get out of my comfort zone because I was going through a lot of trouble. I am still going through a lot of trouble. But this, I don't know. I think kinda help you a little bit to talk into the camera or something like that. I don't know, maybe I am the only one. Well, sometimes I'm more easygoing than this. Well, that's why my thoughts in racism difference, because there is not only with Black American people or African American. There are a lot of races and diversity over there, and yeah, even with the teachers in here, I did have problems with the teachers and when I was in the bus and stuff like that. And I am sure many of you have gone through that too. I know the feeling when you are kind of frustrated, that you feel that you cannot talk or express yourself. And maybe I'm gonna regret this, you know. Uh, but well, it's already done, and I cannot turn back time. So might as well finish it. That's why I had very strong opinions about differences. Many whole other. I wish I could tell you right now the other when I became more older, especially the ones that I had suffered when I was in the US. I was living over there like for 7 years, 8 years, something like that. School was the worst for me. Seriously, a lot of help, a bunch of stuff. I was very antisocial. I still am. And this will help me a little bit to not be so much. Because I have seen from time to time other channels and other stories of people that had been abused or suffered from racism, and I try to learn from them, and it kind of helped me a little bit. So yeah, I hope it didn't get too confused. I don't I don't like to get too much into it. Very heavy stuff and many things I can speak about. I hope I don't know. Maybe later I will speak about them with more detail. But yeah, all these videos I have made them because somebody asked me if I have experienced something of what I am talking about. Yes, I have. To the point that when I was 11, I did make the decision to go out in the street because the life in my family and all the people around me, it was no good for me. So even if I didn't want to do that, I ended doing that. And that's one other thing that I regret the most of all my life. And not going to college over there when I have the opportunity to. So yeah, like you see, you are not gonna see a model. I like you. I had problems with my weight, especially with my teeth, my hair, everything. Uh, this is very real. This is not a show for me. I hope it's not for you. I always do something in my videos. I like to invite you to talk about your daily, how do you say, daily life. Because many people talk about, for me, in the beginning, I didn't like social media. Maybe I still don't like it.